Hi everyone, happy Pesach again. And children, just a reminder, I forgot to mention that yesterday was the Rebbe's father's birthday, Rebbe Levi Yitzchak. There are many stories about him, but I'm going to save them for another time. The only thing is about Rebbe Levi Yitzchak, children, that he had tremendous Mesiras Nefesh, that everyone should have kosher Pesach, proper matzah. You see, he lived in Russia, and the Russians, Yamach Shemam v'Zichram, back then, they were terrible communists who didn't believe in Hashem, and said no one's allowed to have proper kosher Pesach matzah. And they said, we're going to have our own factories. They had to show religious freedom because they were getting pressured like from other countries, but they were going to run the matzah factories themselves and make totally chametzik matzah. But in order for the Jewish people to buy the matzah, they had to show us, if look, a big rabbi is approving it. So they told Rebbe Levi Yitzchak, the Rebbe's father, you state that, put your hechsher, like put your stamp of approval. And Rebbe Levi Yitzchak said, under no circumstances will I give my stamp of approval to any matzah that's not 100% shmora matzah. Not even, no, don't do that. Not even, after you finish eating, you can come back. Not even, what's it called? Regular matzah, it has to be shmora matzah. And the children, they threatened they'd kill him unless he puts his sign of like hechsher on it, his rabbinic certificate on it. And Rebbe Levi Yitzchak didn't care. He stood adamant. But the Russians knew that he was the most respected rabbi back then in Russia. And he was a big posek. And so they had no choice. And even though they threatened, he didn't care. And he made all the matzah 100% shmora matzah. And so long as Rebbe Levi Yitzchak was in charge of the matzah's children, all the Jews in Russia had 100% kosher shmora matzah. Either way, so that was just by way of introduction. I'm going to share another quick little story, children, that was shared today at the children's rally. But it's a lovely story. So even though you may have heard it, for the benefit of those who haven't, I'm going to repeat it. It was during the days of Rebbe Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev.
Make sure to eat a yummy food, kosher food, because to get healthy and well.
Yes. And to serve Hashem with good health and happiness.
And eat this.
Yeah, say bracha. Say bracha. Don't forget to say the bracha. Yeah, say bracha.
Yeah, and this is an apple. You're supposed to eat an apple like this.
Okay. You don't have to make a demonstration of how to eat an apple. Sorry. Okay. So children, Rebbe Levi Yitzchak, children, was a very big Rebbe, and he made his Leil Seder with all the chumrais and all the all the chumrais and all the kavanais and all the mesiras down from Kabbalah. And Rebbe Levi Yitzchak made the most fantastic Seder. Every kavana you can have, and every teachings of the Arizali incorporated. And he was very happy with how the Seder came out. And when the Seder was all over, Rebbe Levi Yitzchak had what's called an Aliyat HaNeshama. His Neshama went up to Pamalia Shalmaila, to the heavenly courts, and he could hear what's going on. And up in the Bet Din Shalmaila, or like the Pamalia Shalmaila, it wasn't the Bet Din, it was just the heavenly spheres. He heard a voice saying that Shmendrik, the tailor, had an even better Seder than Rebbe Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev. That his Seder was so incredibly holy. And now Rebbe Levi Yitzchak was astounded. He had never heard of the hidden tzaddik, Shmendrik the tailor. He figured he must be a hidden tzaddik. And so he asks around, does anybody know Shmendrik the tailor? And nobody knows. Nobody knows Shmendrik the tailor. There's no tailor named Shmendrik. Till one old Jew said, oh, Rebbe, yes. He used to be a tailor. But for so many years, he's been a drunk. The town shikar, that he's always shikar, he's always drunk. We don't call him Shmendrik the tailor, we call him Shmendrik the shikar. And Reb Levi Yitzchak says, must be he's a hidden tzaddik. Must be pretending that he's a shikar, but really he has high kavanot and is a big, great tzaddik. And he says, can you point me to his house? And they point him to his house. And when they arrive at his house, his wife is there and she looks very embarrassed. And they could see it was all left over from the Seder, like a whole balagan. And he says, please, may I talk to your husband? And she goes, sure, yeah, of course. And he's a little bit sleepy, but I'll go find him.
No.
And she goes and she shakes him, the Shmendrik the tailor. She shakes him and says, come on, Shmendrik, wake up. Reb Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev, the Rebbe is here to see you. And he jolts out of his sleep. He says, oy veizmir. And he comes in and he bows, so to speak, like he takes the Rebbe's hand and he kisses it. And he says, Rebbe, I'm sorry, please, Michael me. And he says, Michael, you for what? What did you do? He says, I'm sure you came to tell me off for my terrible Seder. And he says, well, you see, Rebbe, when I was growing up, and his father, Lo Aleinu, passed away at a very young age, maybe from some pogrom or something. And he said, I never had a father to raise me. I never learned Torah. I never even learned how to read. I don't even know my Aleph Bet. And life became very hard. And I tried to be a tailor. But then the more children I had, the harder it became. And he says, and slowly, Lo Aleinu, he turned to drinking. Children, it's a very, very sad condition. And nobody should ever depend on something like taking wine or stuff like that, children, because it's very sad. They become enslaved to the wine. But Lo Aleinu, a drunk person becomes enslaved to either wine, or worse than wine is something called vodka. So in vodka, or mashka vodka, it's made out of...
Wait, but Mommy, King Achashverosh drink a lot of wine and then he got
yeah,